Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am ZBest. Today we're going to cover the Chieftain Prototype, the Tier 9 British Premium Heavy Tank, the one that everyone thinks is going to be overpowered, and I will show you why it is not. Let's get into it. So, here are the stats: 10 degrees of gun depression, most of the way around. The crew is identical to the Super Conqueror and the Chieftain, the Tier 10, so that's all good over there. HP, it's pretty standard for a Tier 9 heavy, nothing crazy. Turret is really good on paper. The hull is awful on paper, and in practice it is also terrible. View range, decent. 390 base, you can get up to 454 without optics or vents, so using field mods. This top speed is incorrect. I am using turbo. The base top speed, I believe, is 40. So 45 is what you get with the Bounty Turbo. Reverse speed, that's about as high as you can get it. Yeah, the DPM is rough. Like 2600 on a Tier 9 heavy tank. It's a long reload. It's and the gun is derpy. Like, even with the accuracy, if you mess with it, you can get it down to like 0.32, but your aim time becomes really high. It's been a struggle. I played way too many games in this thing over the last few days, trying to 3-mark it. I have not. I've gone over 91%. It is just such a frustrating tank to play. The accuracy and aim time, been balancing it with field mods, trying to use vents, all the above. Nothing has really worked, though. The loadout I am showing right here, so rammer, V-stab, turbo, and then the field mods in this setup right here is what I was running at the end, and it's done a decent job. Looking at the armor, turret is fantastic. You will not pen this turret, but you will go through the cupola. The cupola is big, it's easy to hit, and if you switch to premium rounds, these cheeks, like, it's such an easy pen, and I was being hit here consistently. Like, you're playing a ridgeline with your gun depression over the side, like you're doing this, and then people are just hitting you right here, or they're hitting under the gun, which is another weak spot, especially for tanks with 330 heat. Just shoot it under the gun. If you're playing flat ground, it's not a weak spot. The hull is just terrible. Side scraping is terrible. If you can get penned right here really easily. It's where a lot of people hit you. It's only 90 effective. Yeah, the hull is awful, the turret is good, the cupola is easy to hit. This thing is what the Tier 10 Chieftain should be like. The Tier 10 Chieftain should have this larger cupola, maybe slightly bigger weak spots on the sides. The hull armor could be a tiny bit less. Yeah, let's get into the replay. So, if I remember correctly, this actual replay is one of my earlier games. So you will not see me hit 45. I think I'm running vents. Yeah, I'm running vents in this. So I'll only max out at 40 this game. So it's not very quick. Yeah, this tank, you'd think it's overpowered, it's broken, it's another chieftain. It's what I want the Tier 10 Chieftain to be in the game. It's unique, you can get good games in it, but it is not something that will actually be game breaking. Like, the shots love going into the dirt for this tank. You can do everything you want. You can fully aim and you'll still have shots just going into the dirt. It's really frustrating. The one thing that is nice, so the premium rounds on this thing, 310. Standard rounds are 262. HE is 120. That's what's really nice, is the 120 HE. On a tier 9, that is so nice. You can pen tier 7s and 8s consistently. I don't think I do it in this game, but you can just pull to the side of a tank and just hit them for 500. It's amazing. But that's really one of the only real strengths. Like I said, this thing's armor is not all that good. The cupola is reasonably easy to hit, even when hull down. The gun is derpy, the tank is sluggish. You can get it to go decently quick flat ground, but it still ends up sluggish. And what I mean by that is like the turret traverse, the hull traverse, it doesn't move the way you'd want it to move. And you see me aiming for so long there, that's because that's how long I feel comfortable aiming for it to actually hit. That's how frustrating the gun is on this tank. Like again, you just see me aiming forever. There are some tanks that even with a long aim time you can kind of snap. This thing is not one of those. You will not hit if you don't fully aim, and even when you fully aim, you might not hit. Mind you, I had a bunch of good games, so I won't spoil how much I actually get this game, but I did have some 6500 damage games. I had a 7300 damage game. This one is pretty good as well. But for the most part, like I have I think 110 games in it, and I'm only averaging like 3,000, which is on the low side for a tier 9 heavy recently for me. And it's a struggle. Like it is consistently a struggle to hit that damage. Like I said, I've had really good games, but I consistently have bad games. And that inconsistency makes it really hard to get the 3 marks on, and it's why I've been so frustrated. Some of it has been the teams. The teams have been pretty terrible this weekend. But yeah, this thing, I just wish they would make some changes to the tier 10 Chieftain to make it more like this thing, where it has its situational use, but it is not good at every single thing. The tier 10 can side scrape, can go hull down, and it becomes impenetrable hull down. It goes so fast. It has a pretty good gun. Like the aim time and the accuracy is actually really good. The DPM is actually really solid. It's not amazing, but it's solid, as opposed to this thing. And then, like, the armor just is more predictable. This thing just has random weak spots depending on how you're playing. And again, look at that. Like I aim in for longer than the tank was broadsided to me, because I'm just scarred for how many times I've missed those easy shots. Yeah, with a 9.2 second reload, you're not going to be perma-tracking tanks. You're not going to be able to out trade. You know, you poke once and then you can put 2 shots in for every one of theirs. It's not one of those tanks. So, again, this is one of those tanks that you can get currently exclusively through boxes, or in this case, I believe they're called gates for the Waffenträger mode. And yeah, I personally am not a fan of that whole idea of making tanks exclusive only through what in my mind is pseudo gambling. Like you're saying, hey, I want to get this tank, and then yeah, you're not guaranteed to get it. So what I recommend is don't spend your money on that stuff if you're going for something specific. I will say Wargaming has done a decent job and made it actually worth it. Like if you spend money on it, you will get your money's worth, but you're not guaranteed to get what you were specifically wanting. So if you go in with the mindset that you get what you get, you will be content. If you go in with the mindset you want something specific, yeah, that's not the way to do it. And now we can see that this thing's hull armor is just terrible. T-rate's just going through with standard rounds. No problem. Here we can see the awful aim time again. Yeah, so there we go. There's the replay. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's get into the post-game stats real quick. I apologize for that. Trying to pull up the right tab. I do not have 3 monitors currently, so I am doing my best. There we go. Okay, so after battle report, lots of credits because I was running personal reserve, and this thing is. I feel like there's one more thing. I think the clan reserve was also going, which would add up because something is not adding up. So that remaining 50k I think is from the clan reserve. But yeah, so this thing does make premium credits. It is a premium tank, so if you run all standard rounds, which I think 260 pen is not terrible at tier 9, so you can make money with this thing. I was definitely making credits the entire time I was playing. I think I was running credit boosters the whole time, and I made probably around 10 million credits, but I also played way too much, but that's besides the point. So yeah, 7,090 damage, 6 kills, blocked 1,500 damage, count as the steel wall because it's the most that anyone else did, which is entertaining. But this was the highest base XP that I did. It's not my highest damage game, not my highest kills, but this is these big games are just so few and far between. This tank is a struggle to play, and everything went right for this battle. It went long. I was able to engage things one at a time. There wasn't anything that was able to consistently hit my cupola or my hull armor. It was just the proper battle. But you don't have very many of those in this tank, unfortunately. It is, yeah, it's just frustrating to play. And having played as many battles as I have, I personally don't recommend it. Like, I think I enjoyed the STRVK more. The hull armor is the same level of bad for both of them. The turret armor is more consistent on the STRVK, in my opinion, just because the cupola is smaller. So if you play a ridgeline, you're less likely to get penned. And then the gun is just so much better. Like you actually hit your shots consistently. The DPM I think is about the same, but the effective DPM, meaning the shots that you actually hit, is higher in the STRV, I believe. So hopefully this review was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Feel free to like and subscribe, and then I hope to see you guys around.